What is going on, gentlemen? In this video, I'll be sharing with you how you can directly take any piece of viral content that you find on the internet and recreate it utilizing AI, whether you're going to use it for an ad or an organic piece of content, that's up to you. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact steps and kind of my framework for doing this. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is obviously find a viral piece of content that you want to utilize elements of and or recreate. I'm going to go ahead and utilize this piece of content here. I think it has a great hook. This girl is like dropping her matcha. She has this crazy like gasp on her face, and then she like points at something off screen. You can see camera pans to it, and then there's some clear product showcase that happens. So what I did is I actually recreated this, and we're going to go through my exact workflow for it. This here is the recreated version that I did. Obviously, I wanted it to be in a different scene. I sell personalized jewelry for dog owners, so I wanted to have a dog in there, and I wanted to have a guy working with a laser engraver and her reacting to that, like, OMG, that necklace looks exactly like my dog, right? Like, that's the vibe that I wanted to pass. You can see she drops matcha, points at bro. We get some clear product showcase in the same environment, and then we, in the same environment, also showcase the final product. So I'm going to show you the exact workflow I used to do this piece of content here. Specifically this hook, because I think there's a lot of variables that happen in it. Like, look at the dog, how it's actually paying attention where the cup falls. The splash here of the matcha I think is perfect, and I think her reaction is also pretty spot on. So the very first thing you're going to need to do is actually take the references and drop them inside of your work environment. Now I'm going to be using Magnific here. You can also use Higgsfield or any other tool that allows you to orchestrate different AI models to generate content. And I am going to, the first thing I did is actually drop in a screenshot of that first frame, right? So I wanted this girl to have a similar expression as that original video. You can literally just screenshot this shit, drop it inside of the work environment, and I'll tell you a few other things you're gonna need to drop in. So if you're going to be having any variable that changes, that you wanna have a specific asset or a specific item inside of your video, you're going to want to have it inside of your work environment, right? So I obviously wanted to have our laser engraving machine in there. So I dropped in a reference of our laser engraving machine, and I obviously also wanted this to be inside of a flea market environment. So I went to Google, I literally Googled flea market, I grabbed one of the images, I dragged it in here. So these are the three main reference images that I utilized to create the video that you just saw. And I'm going to now just walk you directly through the workflow and the prompting that I did to do this. So the very first thing is actually getting a clean image of this girl gasping, removing the text, and kind of removing this extra part of the screenshot that I took. So super simple prompt for that. I literally just dragged the node out, hit image generator, and then we went with Nano Banana Pro. And for the prompting, you can see all I did was remove the text and remove the white space, full screen the character. So very simple prompt that I did for that. We then immediately went to, let's actually change the character to a different one, right? I didn't want a girl with a cowboy hat. I wanted a girl that was, you know, more so looking like a younger dog mom, girly pop type beat, right? So how did I actually get this character in here? Very simple. Go to social media, doom scroll, find a character that you like, screenshot that character, drag it in your work environment. Now, yes, you can do different things to actually manipulate this character so that you're not directly stealing somebody's identity. In this example case, I literally just took the screenshot of the girly pop I found on the internet or on TikTok, screenshotted it, dropped it in here, and dropped it, connected it as a reference inside of a new node. So same thing, image generator, and then inside the references, we are obviously dragging in the one that we're modifying, and we're dragging in the new character that we want to add. And you can see here, I'm saying recreate the scene, but change out the cowboy character to the girl in the blue top from the reference. Keep the expression the same, just change out the character. So very simple, very straightforward. Obviously, the next thing that I wanted to do is actually change her from this Walmart looking environment to a flea market environment. So we did the exact same thing. We took a brand new node, dragged it out, and we also dragged in the reference of the flea market, which is over here. And I said, oh, nice, doesn't want to load now. Let's refresh. And you can see, put this girl in the reference flea market environment. So super straightforward and simple. When I do these generations, I like to, you can see here you have a quantity selector, so number of generations. I like to do 10 of them and then literally just select the best one. keeps it simple, kind of a brute force approach. And I'm also typically doing about 2K resolution per generation here. So after I got this scene here, I wanted to go ahead and actually add a gentleman with the laser engraving machine that is on this other side. And I'm doing that before I'm adding, the matcha, before I'm adding the dog, before I'm adding the leash, all of that, right? So what I did is I went ahead and generated a few mock-ups of a gentleman who is utilizing the same laser engraving machine from our reference here inside of the same reference photo environment of the flea market. So you can see the prompting here, it's very simple. Recreate a flea market environment with the reference laser engraving machine on one of the tables and a guy using the machine. So super straightforward. You can see this is a great example of kind of that brute force aspect where I generated a bunch of different variations. I literally just maxed this out to 10 like this and then just hit run. You get unlimited generations with whatever their like 200 a year plan is or something like that. And this is what I got. So after I was happy with one of them, I believe I liked this one here. I took that and I dragged it into a brand new reference here. So we did the exact same thing, dragged the new node out, clicked image generator, and then we simply combined these two images. So you can see we literally took these two, dragged them in as references, and I was like, add the guy working with the laser engraving machine off frame on the red table. And you can see this here is the image that we got. Obviously, this looks pretty good already, so I wanted to start adding in some other variables. So the next thing that I did is we started playing around with adding the matcha. And you can see here, I'll just go ahead and show you all the variations we had. So I simply said, in the girl's left hand, make her hold an iced matcha in a clear cup. And we got this variation here, we got this variation here, which kind of hallucinated a little bit, put it in her right hand. And then we got this one over here, which also slightly hallucinated, put it in the right hand, which is fine. Any of those could still work. Before I forget, if you're actively running a D2C brand and want to network and scale with other 8-figure operators, you should definitely go check out the memberships that we have at ecom.live. You can either choose to opt in for a quarterly or an annual membership where you're working directly with myself and other 8-figure founders to solve your fucking problems. If this is of any interest to you, you can go learn more at ecom.live/pricing. And let's get back to the video. The next thing I did is I wanted the expression here to look a little bit less like she's yawning and a little bit more like she's surprised. So what I did is I said modify the girl's expression to be the same as the reference photo when she's looking, while she's looking at where the man is laser engraving. So all I did there is I went back to kind of this original photo where she has a little bit more of that surprised expression, and I dragged that node in as a reference to the photo that we had of the girl holding the matcha drink. Now, the issue that I had here is that it went ahead and actually removed the matcha drink as it generated this photo, which is why right after that, I give a prompt saying in the girl's left hand, add the matcha drink back in. So you can see here, add the matcha drink back in this girl's left hand, which is what we did. And after that, we wanted to go ahead and add the dog inside of our scene. So I was pretty happy with how this reaction was looking here. And I went ahead and for the next prompt said in the left hand, she's covering her mouth, add her holding a leash that leads back to a black Labrador next to her feet. And we obviously shot about 10 variations of that and decided to move forward with this one over here. So we got a pretty good image of the dog kind of looking up. You can see the leash is on her left hand. She has the matcha in her hand and she's covering her mouth kind of with that initial reaction. Now, moving forward, I went ahead and I wanted to actually fix a little bit of the laser engraving area here. You can see that it has this kind of weird plate, but on the footage that we were following up with, you can see that the plate is not, it doesn't look like that, right? So it's a much smaller plate. So I wanted to fix that. So I took a pretty close-up screenshot of the reference that I wanted to add in here. I added that in as a reference, and then I went here and said, recreate the exact image, just add the details of the blue vise that is under the laser engraving machine from the attached reference. And you can see we got something that looked pretty darn accurate. Now, After that was done, we were ready to upscale and start generating. So typically after I get the first frame of every scene that I'm ready to actually animate, I'm going to go ahead and upscale it. I used here Precision Clarity and Magnific V2 Sublime for the upscaler. And you can see this will just get you a little bit more of a crispy image. And after we got that done, we were ready to actually start generating some video. Now, the model that I am still swearing by is Kling 3. You can obviously use Seedance and so many other models that will be able to do the exact same thing. I just personally really like Kling's ability to make the details that you added in the original image stay true throughout the video. And a great example of that is as I was playing around with generating the necklace in a completely different environment, you can see that we were able to keep majority of the details really true to the original engravings, which I referenced inside of here with the original, which is somewhere in here. Yeah. So you can see original here. You can see how the engravings look like here. And I wanted to keep those engravings the exact same. Now, utilizing other models, I've found it difficult for very, very specific details to stay the same, except when using Kling and first generating the still frame that you're going to be animating. That's where I found kind of the secret sauce to be, if you will. You can see here I played around with Omni Flash, and I was able to get this result here kind of in the flea market environment. But as you can see, the details were not the same compared over again to the ones that I played around with Kling, where the details stayed the same. So I'll touch on this here back in a second. I do want to just finish up on how we actually got the animation of this girl to look how we wanted it to look like. And yeah, then we're gonna go from there. So the very first thing I want to talk about is the prompting of it. So if we take a look at this one here, which is the one we went forward with, you're going to see this here is our prompt. Now, I want to explain how I like to approach the prompting here. So what I like to do is literally explain every single moving part that needs to happen in a very clear text base. Okay. So you can see here, I'm saying animate the flea market scene with people walking around, animate the girl that's gasping to drop her matcha, which hits the table, then falls to the floor out of frame. Animate the dog to be startled by the drink that fell and start licking it. After the girl drops her matcha, keep her looking and gasping and didn't realize that she dropped it, but is just holding her hand open where the matcha would have been. Have her point with the hand she's gasping with toward where the man on the right side who is working with his hands. Obviously, the English here is a little bit fucked because I was just typing the shit out. But you can see it got us a pretty good result here. This was maybe like 3-4 generations in. And also for reference, in terms of how much the cost is for the videos, these are not bad at all. If I go here and just showcase a brand new node, and we go video generator, and we click on Kling 3. And if we go to like 3 seconds, I think this is maybe like 4 seconds, you can see, let's just do test here. You can see it's roughly going to be 280 credits, which I think is a couple cents at best. You can obviously do longer clips as well, and you can also go to 1080p if you would like to. It's going to increase the costs marginally. And you can see this compared to, for example, Gemini Omni Flash is going to be a lot cheaper. This is going to cost you 1,200 credits for basically the exact same thing. Now, Gemini Omni Flash obviously has its utility, especially for animating video, so utilizing video as a reference and then referencing video in there. That'll be a separate video that will talk about that. Now, that's how we got that initial shot here. To tie on how we were able to do that with the product showcase here, again, we took the initial frame from the original reference video, and we went ahead and did something very similar where we dragged in that reference of the flea market, and we said recreate the hand holding the box with all the details. on the necklace close to the camera. We want the same position as the original, but change the background to the flea market reference. That's all we did. We then took that and animated it in the same way. All I did is I utilized Kling here and I said hand slowly rotates the box to showcase the necklaces inside as people walk by in a busy flea market background. You take all those, you throw them in a CapCut, and you'll be good to go. Hopefully this helps. You guys take it easy. Bye.